Since gun control was introduced in the United States in the 1990s, there have been a total of 137 mass shootings in which the lives of 152 innocent victims were lost, according to ballotpedia.org. Recently, gun control has been a very controversial issue, and I personally believe action needs to be taken. After debating this topic for 2 years in high school, I believe that I have enough knowledge on the subject to present an argumentative discussion that can change the points of view of Americans. With mass shootings occurring more and more often, it is an issue that not only President Obama needs to act on, but also the people of the United States. Although many Americans feel as though gun control takes away their rights, stricter gun control laws can benefit them in more ways than it could actually harm them. In most states, the only thing required to buy a gun is your name, address, and the skill set to fill out a 6-page form that consists of yes or no questions. Do you think that if a criminal was asked, "Have you been recently convicted in a court of felony?" they're going to answer yes? My solution to this problem is to make sure that every state has to give federal background checks to all customers purchasing any firearm. Those background checks include looking at the mental history of the customer as well as financial records. I also believe it would be beneficial to look at who the customer currently has living in their household. Let's take a look at the infamous James Holmes, responsible for the Aurora Theater shooting in 2012. Just days prior to the Aurora shooting, he was put into a psychiatric hospital where he was diagnosed with dysphoric mania as well as having suicidal thoughts. If a simple background check was done on Holmes whenever he bought 6,300 rounds of ammunition and at least 4 guns prior to the shooting, this massacre probably could have been avoided, saving the lives of 12 victims. Which brings me to my next point. How is it possible for a single person to buy 6,300 rounds of ammunition, a semi-automatic rifle, a pistol, shotgun, and tear gas all within a 1-month period? This is where I believe that a longer waiting period should be enacted towards the purchase of firearms. Today, in most states, there is not a waiting period after buying a gun. Usually, the customer is able to just walk out of the store with the gun they've just purchased. This is a dangerous process that could prevent a lot of shootings that occur within hours of the shooter purchasing the gun. It is reasonable for many Americans to feel that gun control is infringing upon our Second Amendment, which is the right to keep and bear arms. I, being a gun control advocate, am not trying to take away the guns from Americans. My argument is about creating stricter laws in the United States to make it a safer environment for all Americans. Times have changed since the Constitution was made, and it is time to finally put a stance on gun control that many people have been waiting for. According to the Demand a Plan commercial created by Every Town for Gun Safety, how many more? How many more lives are going to be taken before something is done about this? Having gun control laws taken into consideration in the United States can in fact create a more beneficial and safer nation. The advantages of having gun control outweigh the disadvantages, and it is time that Americans come together to solve this age-old problem.